Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the New Thought Center of Hawaii Sunday service for January 17th. I'm Pasha McGregor. I'm your facilitator this morning. And Keala Ching is both our speaker and our musician. And he's going to start us off with a song or a chant, whichever he prefers.
Una ke aloha I ka mauna o walalei palilua o mauna aloha ia ho ino kana kau kalu o hau kaula na ho ino ka ai na o kona he aloha mai kaula na ho ino ka opua I kai ke ola ho ino walalai ia ho ino na kanaka ku I ka ai na ku payana ola ho ola ho aloha mai aloha ku ana ho ino mako ia wahi ku payana ke ola no mako I ko mako I mina uau ana I ke aloha vale ho ino ka aina pili mai la ho ino na kanaka huli mai la ke aloha 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 Aloha. I'm so happy to be here. I am Keala Ching, and I'm excited. Mahalo nui, Pasha, and to all of you, our New Thought Center people who have gathered this morning to listen and to partake in this morning's sharing. So mahalo nui.
Mahalo to you, Kumu. So I'm going to introduce New Thought Center briefly. New Thought Center of Hawaii is nearly 50. In September of 2021, we will celebrate our 50th birthday as an organization. So it's a special year. And the mission of our particular center is to provide a sanctuary of aloha for the nourishment, development, and evolution of each individual's unique spiritual path. This group evolved from a small church called Kona Community Church of Religious Science, which was established in Kailua, Kona in 1971. We have held Sunday services continuously from that time. First of all, for I think the first 2 decades, it was in Keaho, and since 1999 in Keala. But during the pandemic, we aren't necessarily always in Keala. We gather in consciousness, but for instance, this morning, Kuma Keala is in Kailua Kona, I believe, and I'm in Kaloko. So we're in different parts of Kona, but our hearts are in Keala. We have such positive memories of our center and hope to return there before too long. So we are affiliated with International New Thought Alliance, INTA for short, and the New Thought phrase in both the name of that organization and our center, it comes from this. The phrase was coined by this man named Judge Thomas Troward, and he's quoted. He's given credit for using it in this context for the first time. So what he said was, "A new thought embodied in consciousness produces a new condition." And this organization also includes many unity and religious science churches as well as independents like us. So if you want to learn more about that, you can visit the website, our www.newthoughtcenterofhawaii.com. Because we evolved from a religious science church, we kind of honor our ancestors and our roots by including every Sunday a reading from this magazine, Science of Mind magazine. And this month, it has a picture of a moai on the cover. That seems kind of auspicious. So I will read that reading, and then I'll turn it back to Kumu for another song. Okay, this one is, it's called The Depth of Our Spirituality. And it begins with two quotations. The first one is from a compilation called The Enlightened Heart. "If your mind isn't clouded by unnecessary things, this is the best season of your life." The second quote is from Ernest Holmes, the first editor of the magazine and the founder of Religious Science. "The spiritual man is continuously remolding and remaking the material or physical man." And the essay is by a minister and teacher named Margaret Stortz. "I believe we are as spiritual now as we are ever going to be, and that we have always been so. If we believe we are made out of an idea in the perfect mind of God, how could it be otherwise? If we believe we exist in a perfect unity of life, could it be possible for God to create something less than itself? It would not make sense that there could be God and something else. What is more likely is that often we just do not know the depth of our spirituality. We do not know that we share the creativity of the mind of God. We often misfire in the things we manifest because we do not know about the power at our fingertips. Every day is the right day to awaken to our spiritual origins and to learn how to think correctly, to put into motion ideas that affirm life and bring good to all. When we awaken each day, let us determine to see ourselves as powerful beings with the scope of infinity available to us. Let us accept the goodness of the day for ourselves and our neighbors near and far, and really use our spirituality lovingly." And it completes with an affirmation. I will read it in 3 sections and pause so that you can repeat each part if you are so inclined. "In deepest peace, love, and gratitude, I give great thanks for the gifts of the Spirit that come to me each day. I know my inner power, and I use it wisely and lovingly. Okay, back to you, Kumu.
Mahalo, mahalo for those wonderful words. And to tie them all in, I have this song, and it talks about really identifying love. Love It is written in Kealoha, and aloha, of course, speaks about being gentle, having the relationship with everyone around you, the truth, oya iho, and being very, very humble. And the very last is being patient. So the song Ke Aloha Iho no. O Ke Aloha Iho no. Na ke akua e ola mau. O ke aloha iho no. Na kahi kolu e ola mau. O ke aloha iho no. Na o iwi e ola mau. O ke aloha iho no. Na ewe e ola mau. E ola mau ke aloha. E ola mau ke aloha. E ola mau ke aloha. Ke aloha iho no. Recognizing all these gifts and wonderful values within within us so that we can identify that power within to then share and empower others. O ke aloha iho. Mahalo.
Mahalo kumu. So now I get to introduce you officially. Kumu Keala Ching is a Hawaiian cultural educator, composer, songwriter, and spiritual advisor to many Hawaiian organizations. He lives and breathes aloha into his Hawaiian heritage with his strong presence and his great heart. Originally from the island of Oahu, Kumu Keala began his hula training as a dancer with the men of Waimakuna under the direction of the late Daryl Ihiihilaukea Lupenue. In 1999, he became a practitioner of Ho'oponopono with Kupuna Malia Craver, a cultural specialist at Queen Liliuokalani Children's Center. He is a graduate of University of Hawaii at Manoa with a degree in early childhood education, and he earned his master's degree in education from Chaminade. Kumu has taught keiki and served in other capacities for several schools in the Kona area. Currently, he teaches at Konawaina Middle School, teaching Hawaiian language and music. He also teaches adults, both language and hula. He'll tell you more about that later. The topic for today is Kaulana Napua, famous are the flowers. And Kumu, I'm presenting you with your symbolic lei. And you can imagine it to be whatever you want, Miley, I
Thank you.
think Miley would be nice.
Miley is perfect. Mahalo nui, and thank you everyone for joining us this Sunday, January 17th. And Kaulana Napua actually kind of relates to that time almost 128 years ago. And on this day, a very sad day, is actually the overthrow of our queen, Queen Liliuokalani. And so this song, Kaulana Napua, sort of speaks about um, the plight, the strength of the people, on how they objected to the overthrow of the queen. And it was on this day, 128 years ago. It was 1893, January 17th. And it is a very sad day. However, when I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to be on January 17th, I would love to share with you Kaulana Napua. And in the song, it talks about the famous flowers. And in the Hawaiian metaphor, flowers are really referred to people. So Kaulana Napua is the famous flowers, the famous people of the land, and how really standing firm in support of Queen Liliuokalani. At the last line, it says, Mahope mako o Liliulani. We will stand behind Liliuokalani. However, what I wanted to do, that was historically, and it was really, really empowering. But what I wanted to share is really how wonderful that this challenges that we have been in has really gotten us to get back to our own style of living here in Hawaii, not being so dependent upon things that are being shipped in. Um, I think most of us have started a garden, which is great. And that is really what the word is saying. Ua lava mako ika pohaku, which means we will eat the stones. We don't need all of this that surrounds us. And really helping that with this 8, almost 9 months of being at home, being cooped up, being connected with our land, going out and doing wonderful things in the garden, and really connecting with family. Staying home and really speaking with our children. In the second verse is Panin mai hava I moku o ke ave, which means the answers all come together. And then it says Kokua na honua o pi'ilani, which really says Maui. Maui is going to help out. And what has happened in the days is that each island now are really taking care of their own island and really sort of restricting certain travel restrictions, um, imports, which is really, really interesting on how we have, of course, Kauai, Ka Ko'omai Kauai Mano, which Kauai supports this whole movement of really coming back to the land, coming back to be very dependent upon our own self, our own livelihoods, our simple livelihood, being able to connect much like this on the internet, connecting with songs, mele, dancing, hula, thoughts. So that's what I wanted to kind of tie into Kaulana Napua. Allow me to sing this song for you, and then I'll kind of get you more thoughts, more words that's written within this mele, Kaulana Napua. And Kaulana Napua o Hawaii, Kupa amaho ke o itaina, Iki mai ka elele o koloko ino, Pala pala anu me ka paka, try that one more time. Kaulanana pua o Hawaii. Kupaama hope o kaaina. Iki mai ka elele o koloko ino. Pala pala anu meka paka. So in the words, it talks about how it's very, very strong that we are the flowers of Hawaii. Yes, there's a literal translation. But what I thought was really exciting is on the second line it says kupa'a. Kupa'a is to stand firm. Mahope oka'aina, behind the land. So much like how within this past 9 months, many of us have started gardens. Many of us have really getting back to the land, going back into the ocean, really connecting. And that is really saying, we are really beginning to allow the land to nourish who we are. Sitting, listening, understanding the flow, especially with the beginning of solstice with Tutupele erupting out in Kilauea and bringing life back to the land. Kupa'a mahope oka'aina is what the mele is really speaking about, what we're doing now. And it says, Hiki mai ka'elele, where this messenger comes was iloko ino with this virus that we're all dealing with. But we say pala pala anunu mekapakaha. We will just not um, buy into it. As we know, we are Hawaii in low in numbers, and it's because of how we treat each other and how we really relate to the safety, not only for our children, but most importantly for our kupuna, the elders. And so that's our first verse. And so I continue because here the verse says, everyone, all the islands supports it. Panimai Hawaii moku ke ame. Kokua na honoa o Pi'ilani. Ka ko'o mai kauai o mano. Ha'apu meke o ka puheva. Let's do that one again. Panemai Hawaii moku ke ame. Kokuana honoa o Iilani. Ka ko'o mai kauai o mano. Ha'apu meke o ka Well, in this verse, it speaks that Hawaii Island has answered. It's called Panemai Hawaii Moko Ke'awe. Of course, Ke'awe is an ali'i of Hawaii Island. His name is Ke'awe Kekahi Ali'i no Homoku. So that's referencing the Hawaii Island. And then we say Kokua na Honoa o Pi'ilani, which is the chief of Maui, is Pi'ilani. They said Maui will kokua. Maui will help out. And then Mano Okalanipo is over there in Kauai. And Mano Okalanipo is going to support everything that is going on. As we turn back to the land, as we really connect with each other, as we begin to really take care of each other. And then Oahu says, Pa'apu, we will stand firm on our sands, on our birth, and we will stand. The chief of Oahu is Kakuhiheva. In the song, it says, all the islands, they're all standing together in the hopes that we all return back to really honoring the land, honoring individuals, honoring each other, honoring the stories, the songs. Here it is. And then now our second verse. Third verse. Aolea e kau I ka pulima. Malunao ka pepao ka enemy. Uuwi ay na ako ay hema. Ikapono si nila uke ka na. Hanaho. Aole a ikaw ikapulima. Manao ka pepao ka enemy. Uuwi ay na ako ay hema. Ikapono si nila uke ka na. In this verse, it talks about how we wouldn't, the people at that time wouldn't sign their names on this palapala of annexation. But for us here, for me in this Manao, is that we here on Hawaii Island has made several stands to make sure that we do care for each other, whether we're wearing our face covering, whether we're 6 feet apart, we're connecting, we're relating to each other, and being very, very safe. And in this, we're not going to be brought into those that choose um, not to abide, not to agree. The idea is we are a very small island, and being that we are a very small island, we need to listen to the stories of the past. I will share one. One of the largest stories of impact is just on our island, Hawaii Island, here in the Kona district. We had close to about 1.7 million people living on just our island, and we were being fed. We had enough beautiful land to feed the amount of people here on Hawaii Island. And indeed, it was the pandemic, the diseases that came upon our land and that devastated our population. So, in this, we have to stick together. We want to make sure that our main focus is safety. Yes, we can go out and enjoy the beauty of our land, but be safe. Be safe, enjoy, honor each other, making sure that you honor their space, they honor your space. As that says, "Aole makoa e pulima." Yeah. So now we have another aole that we're not going to do, but it says, we're not going to be sad. Aole a e mina mina. Yeah. We will eat from the land. Lava mako. Aole makoa e mina mina. Ikapukala o ke aupuni. Walava mako ikapoha. Ika ai kamaha o kaina. Aole mako a e mina mina. Ikapukala o ke aupuni. Walava mako ikapoha. Ika ai kamaha o kaina. In this verse, I would say, many of us have been so dependent upon government assistance. And in it says, we don't need it. We can go back to the land and farm our own, going back to the kalo, the taro farms, the lo'i, and putting the taro in and making sure and malama and taking care of it. Much like all of you who have done beautiful gardens in your yard, that that is simply walava mako ikapohaku, which means we bring from our own land and we feed ourselves from our own, and we produce. And that, I think, is really fascinating. Of course, back then this story means a little bit different, but as we begin to understand the history, and we know that we don't need to depend upon all of these imports. We can really go back to our land and farm our own land. So this is us, Kaulananapua. We are the famous of this land. And so we sing our very last verse as we say, we support you, Lili Kalani. Mahopimako Lili Ulani. Aloha a ekapono kaina. Haina ia mai ana kapua. O kapu e aloha o kaina. Maho he mako lili ulani. A kau hou ia e ke kalau. Haina ia mai ana kapua. O kapu e aloha o kaina. Yes, our queen was overthrown almost 128 years ago. But today, our language is alive, our culture is alive. Therefore, our queen is alive. And we use her beautiful stories to say that we stand behind our queen, we stand behind our land, we stand behind who we are, and how great that we are able to maintain our connection with our land, much like how everyone is out there farming your land and taking care of your family. That's what Ohana is all about. And that is what the words is really speaking. That we stand behind the gifts of Onipa'a. Onipa'a is certainly the queen's words, was to be steadfast, stay firm in really connecting with each other, connecting with our land, and really begin to nourish ourselves. So again, it says, Ha'ina ia mai anakapuan. I tell you this story that we are the people of aloha, the people of connection of this land of Hawaii. O ka po'e I aloha, o ka aina. We are the people of aloha of this land. So mahalo nui, everyone, and thank you for allowing me to share on this beautiful day, January 17th, Sunday. Yeah, 128 years to this day. So we use the historical stories to understand what we're going through in the future. Mahalo nui.
Mahalo kumu. I didn't recognize when you accepted for this date. Forgive me, but I didn't connect the dots to realize the significance of the day. But I love the way you worked with it. Everyone who's here listening, we all have a deeper understanding now.
Yes, thank you. I was really excited when the date came up. I was like, the 17th. Oh, I think I'm gonna take the 17th. And I just started singing Kaulana Napua, and I was like, oh, I think I'm gonna share how, a very sad situation is really something that we can truly rejoice, about how being connected to the land and really getting our hands back into the land. So thank you very much for allowing me to share on this auspicious day.
Hmm. And of course, it's also the weekend when we're observing um, Martin Luther King Jr., and many people observe that with a day of service. So just all comes together in a beautiful way.
Yes, I believe they're gonna have a celebration for this celebration of Martin Luther King, and it was so beautiful. They asked me if I would be able to help them. So we will be doing a hula presentation for the celebration as well. So please, if you get a
Excellent.
chance, go and take a look at it.
So is it in person or online, or do you know?
It's actually going to be virtual. We
Okay.
did the filming um, this past Saturday, and
Okay.
so they're putting it all together, and they're gonna focus or feature it on Naleo,
Okay.
Naleo, I think, or other social media. They're gonna be putting it up. So
Great.
I think that it's gonna go live either tomorrow,
Okay.
yeah, on the day.
So we can, if we Googled it, Martin Luther King Day celebration Kona, we would probably be able to find it one way or another, right?
Yes, they told me that they would normally celebrate it today on
Yeah.
Sunday, but they shared with me that they're going to be featuring it on the day on the 18th. So it's really great that
Very.
they're sharing it. So that's what I've heard um, that they shared with me last Saturday. So it's great that we can celebrate um, peace and really connect with each other.
Well, thank you again. And I'm going to ask you to put on your other hat now as music minister and play us some nice offertory music. And I will do a screen share to bring up the, we can't pass our koa bowl like we normally would at the center, but there are other ways to donate. So I'll bring that up in a little while. But let's start with the offertory music.
Nice. I would like to share this song in its entirety because I hope you folks allow that and really contribute on this beautiful day. Kaulanana puma oha baby, kupa ama hope o kaina. Ikimai ka elele o koloko ino. Pala pala anu ne ka pa ka. Ane mai Hawaii mo kuo ke ane. Kokua na honoa o pilani. Ka ho'o mai ka Hawaii o mano. Pa'apu me ke umi o ka punihena. Aole mako ulima. Maluna o ka pepa o ka eleni. O hui aina ku ai hewa. I ka pono sivila o ke kanaka. Aole mako a e mina mina. I ka puku kala o ke au kuni. Walava mako i ka pohaku. I ka ai ka maha o ka aina. Mahope mako liri ulani. Aloha a e ka pono o ka aina. Haina ia mai ana ka puana. O ka poe ia aloha o ka aina. Mahalo everyone for giving.
I'm going to ask you to go first, Kumu, to share your announcements about any educational opportunities you can offer to our the people watching today. Uh, I think you have a new language class starting soon, right?
Mahalo. We actually started it this past Monday. It is our beginners class. The class is actually done online, and we we just started, so we're doing all the basics things. It starts at 6 o'clock on Monday. That is our Hawaiian language course. And then I have a basic 1 hour hula that starts at 3:45. Again, everything is virtual. I work with an app that's called Slack. It's a way for me to communicate with my students. It's a way for me to upload songs and thoughts that when you normally come to hula class, you don't have pencil and paper. So it's on the app that you are able to take your notes. So once again, that is beginners hula at 3:45 on Monday, and it goes for 1 hour. And then in the evening at 6 to 7:30, an hour and a half, we have Olelo Hawaii, or Hawaiian language. That's the beginners class. So we've just started. We're doing lots of a, e, I, o, u. So if you would like to join, please send me an email. I'm sure you could find it in Keola Magazine, or it's Kumu Keala, all lowercase, at nawaiiwiola.org. Kumu Keala at nawaiiwiola.org. Send me an email if you're interested. Mahalo.
And you know what? Well, I'll put it in the little blurb that goes with the YouTube so people can be sure to use the correct spelling when they're searching for it. All right, thank you, Kumu. And then for New Thought Center, we have a fairly small list of coming events. Won't take too long here. This Kumu has another engagement, so it's good that it's fairly short this week. The next 2 weeks, we have on the 24th, we have Hosen. She's the abbess of a Zen retreat center in New Mexico, and she will be, her topic is receiving the new year with openness, and it's a Zen perspective on things with music by Bernice and Manuel Roberto. That will be a recording on YouTube, just like this week. The following week will be a community sharing and interactive Zoom. As the last Sunday of January, but we're still in that special New Year energy. So hopes, prayers, and wishes for 2021. And we have our 2 weekly classes. Thanks to Maria Mann and Davina Mar. And you can, if you're not already on the mailing list, you can go to the website and sign yourself up. We have a weekly e-newsletter. And that concludes our New Thought announcements. So we will finish with our closing song, Hawaii Aloha, and Kumu is going to bring up the lyrics so you can sing along.
Mahalo. All right. Hawaii aloha. Don't have some helpers, so we're just gonna do what we can. Mahalo again, everyone, for coming and joining Pasha and me at New Thought Center for this beautiful day, January 17th, Sunday. Hope you're gonna have a beautiful afternoon. And e Hawaii e ku'u ne hanau e ku'uhome kula'iwine olino au ina pono lali'o e Hawaii aloha e hau'oli e nā oki o Hawaii ke aloha no Hawaii. E ha'i mai ko mau kini lani o mau kuha aloha e Hawaii. Nā mea oli no ka maha'o no nā mai. E Hawaii aloha e hau'oli e nā oki o Hawaii nei. E oli mai nā ahe makani e pā mai nei. Mau ke aloha no Hawaii. Nā ke akua e malama mai a oe. O mau kua lono aloha nei. O mau ka Hawaii o lino mau. O mau mana kuanani e hau'oli e nā oki o Hawaii e oli mai nā ahe makani e pā mai nei. Mau ke aloha no Hawaii. Mau ke aloha no Hawaii. Uha! Mahalo a nui loa kākou.